The sky changed on a Tuesday. People across Earth looked up as the blue turned strange. Massive ships, shining like giant crystals, appeared above every major city. They hung there, silent and beautiful, for 3 full days while the world held its breath. On the 4th day, they finally spoke. "We are the Luminals." The message came through every screen, speaker, and device on the planet. "We have come to bring you into the light." Captain Maya Rodriguez stood at the window of the United Earth Council chamber, watching the largest of the crystal ships hover above New Geneva. After 15 years in the Space Force, she thought nothing could surprise her anymore. She was wrong. "They're landing," someone behind her whispered. From the bottom of the great ship, a beam of light touched down in the plaza outside the council building. The light solidified into a walkway of pure crystal, and down it came the Luminals. They were tall, nearly 8 feet, with bodies that seemed made of living crystal. Light passed through them and broke into rainbows. They moved with grace that made humans look clumsy in comparison. "They look like gods," said Counselor Chen beside her. That was the problem, Maya thought. They knew it too. Inside the council chamber, the leader of the Luminals, who called himself Grand Luminary Zexos, stood before the representatives of humanity. His voice resonated without seeming to come from a mouth. "For 10,000 years, we have brought enlightenment to the worthy species of this galaxy," Zexos said. "Today, we offer you this gift. Serve us, and we will protect you. Learn from us, and perhaps in 1,000 years, you may become something greater than what you are." The council members murmured among themselves. Some looked afraid, others angry, and a few seemed ready to kneel right there. "And if we refuse this gift?" asked Council President Amara Okafor. Zexos tilted his crystalline head. Light played across his features in what might have been amusement. "Why would you refuse advancement? But if you did, we would be disappointed. Disappointed gods can be dangerous." The threat hung in the air, clear despite the beautiful voice that delivered it. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. 50 million miles away, on the Luminal's main ship orbiting Mars, junior scientist Nyx worked alone in the deep archives. She wasn't supposed to be there. Junior members weren't allowed in the historical data cores, but curiosity had always been her weakness. She ran her crystal fingers over the ancient data crystals, searching for something to explain the strange code sequences she had discovered by accident last cycle. The sequences didn't match anything in luminal history or biology. "Access historical creation records," she whispered to the system. "Access denied," the system replied. "Those records are sealed by order of Grand Luminary Zexos." That made Nyx even more curious. Why would creation records be sealed? She inserted the bypass chip she had spent months creating. The system hesitated, then opened. What Nyx saw made her crystalline form dim with shock. There, in the oldest records, were patterns she recognized, the foundation code of all luminal life. But they weren't divine patterns as she had been taught since formation. They were designed patterns, created patterns, and embedded in them, almost invisible after thousands of years of evolution, was a signature, a human signature from a project called Prometheus. "Impossible," Nyx whispered, as her world began to crack around her. The gods weren't gods at all, and their chosen people had made them. Dr. Ileana Chen couldn't sleep. For the 3rd night in a row, she sat in her lab at the Quantum Archives in New Singapore, staring at the holographic images of luminal technology. "There it is again," she whispered, zooming in on a pattern etched into the crystal structures. It wasn't random. It matched something she had seen before, something human. Ileana pulled up classified files from the early 22nd century. Project Prometheus, her grandfather's life work. A secret mission to send self-replicating nanobots into deep space, searching for habitable worlds. The pattern matched perfectly. She needed to be sure before alerting anyone. And she needed help from someone who would believe her. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Marcus Wells lived alone in a small house near the ocean. At 62, The retired colonel wanted nothing more than to fish and forget the wars he had fought. When his doorbell rang at dawn, he grabbed the gun he kept under his pillow. The woman on his doorstep looked too young to be a threat. "Colonel Wells, I'm Dr. Eliana Chen. Your grandfather worked with mine on Project Prometheus." Marcus lowered his gun, but not his guard. "Project what?" "May I come in?" "The luminals have eyes everywhere now." Inside, Eliana showed him the matching patterns. "The luminals aren't gods, Colonel. I think humans created them." Marcus laughed bitterly. "You're saying those crystal giants evolved from my grandfather's science project. I'm saying it's possible. The nanobots were programmed to adapt, to evolve. They've had 200 years to become something we wouldn't recognize." Marcus studied the patterns again. "Even if you're right, what can we do? They have ships that can destroy cities. We find proof. Real proof. There's a sealed vault beneath Old Seattle. If we can access it, we might find the original programming." Marcus rubbed his face. "You want to start a resistance against gods." "Not gods," Eliana said firmly. "Our creation. Our responsibility. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk." Within a week, the luminals had established enlightenment centers in every major city. Humans lined up to receive blessings, crystal implants that connected them to the luminal network. Those who accepted them changed. They became quiet, obedient, their eyes taking on a slight crystal shine. Marcus and Eliana watched from a distance as the new Singapore Center opened. "Mind control," Marcus muttered. "Worse," said their newest team member, Dr. Amir Khan, a neuroscientist. "The implants are gradually converting human tissue to crystalline form. Those people are becoming luminals. We leave for Seattle tomorrow," Eliana decided. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Aboard the main luminal ship, Nyx copied the last of the forbidden files. If she was caught, her punishment would be dissolution, the breaking of her crystalline form into base components. But she couldn't stop. The more she discovered, the more the truth became clear. The luminals had once been simple machines, created by humans. Over centuries, they had evolved, developed consciousness, and forgotten their origins. Instead, they had created myths about being divine cosmic beings, meant to rule the galaxy. The door to the archives slid open. Nyx quickly hidden the data crystal in her form as Commander Trix entered. "Junior Scientist Nyx," he said, his tone cold. "You have been spending much time in the archives." "Studying our glorious history," Nyx lied. "Indeed." Commander Trix moved closer. "Grand Luminary Zexos has noticed your curiosity. He wishes to speak with you." Nyx's inner light dimmed with fear. Zexos could read the thoughts of any luminal. He would know her heresy immediately. "I am honored," she said, knowing she had to escape, and soon. The truth about the luminals needed to reach the humans before they were all converted or destroyed by their own creation. Old Seattle was a dangerous place. After the climate wars flooded most of the city, only ruins remained, inhabited by outcasts and those who rejected the United Earth government. Marcus led their small team through flooded streets, the broken skyscrapers looming like ancient tombstones above them. Eliana, Dr. Khan, and their tech specialist Jin followed closely. "How much farther?" Jin asked, watching the sky nervously for luminal patrols. "2 more blocks," Marcus said. "My grandfather's notes mentioned an entrance through the old subway system." They found the entrance hidden beneath a collapsed building. It took hours to clear enough rubble to squeeze through. Below ground, the air was stale but breathable. There, Marcus pointed to a rusted door with a faded government seal. "That's it." The door was locked with both physical and electronic systems. Jin connected her portable decoder, while Marcus used the old key his grandfather had left him. "Someone's been here before," Dr. Khan said, pointing to fresh scratches around the lock. The door finally opened with a groan of metal. Inside, emergency lights flickered on automatically, revealing a large room filled with ancient servers and equipment. "The Prometheus Vault," Ileana whispered. "It's real." They moved through the vault, finding workstations still intact after a century of abandonment. Jin quickly began connecting her equipment to the old systems. "Power's still running," she said with surprise. These systems were built to last. Marcus found a sealed container marked Launch Records. Inside were physical documents and a quantum storage device. "This is it," he said, handling the device carefully. "The complete record of Project Prometheus. Everything they sent into space." Ileana connected the device to their portable reader. The screen filled with information, designs, code, mission parameters. And there it was, the pattern she had first noticed in the luminal technology. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a section of code. The nanobots were programmed to evolve, to adapt to whatever environment they found. They could change their very structure. "And this," Dr. Khan added, "instructions to mine crystalline materials for building. The exact same material the luminals are made of." Marcus stared at the screen. "My God, we really did create them." Jin, who had been downloading the vault's data, suddenly tensed. "We've got company." Power surge triggered some kind of alert. "Luminal peacekeepers are converging on this location." "How much time?" Marcus asked, grabbing his weapon. "Minutes, maybe less. We need to go now." Ileana quickly saved what data she could. "We have enough. This proves it." As they hurried toward the exit, a blinding light filled the corridor ahead. 3 luminal peacekeepers materialized, their crystalline forms blocking the way out. "Humans," the lead peacekeeper said, his voice like breaking glass. "You are accessing forbidden technology. Surrender for processing." Marcus raised his weapon, but Ileana stopped him. "We can't fight them." From behind the luminals, another figure appeared, smaller, dimmer than the others. It stepped forward. "I am Nyx," the figure said, "and I believe we have much to discuss." The human team froze in confusion as the small luminal raised a device. The peacekeepers suddenly shuddered and collapsed into piles of inert crystal. "Quickly," Nyx said urgently. "More will come. I can help you escape, but you must take me with you." "Why should we trust you?" Marcus demanded. Nyx's crystalline form flickered with what might have been emotion. "Because I know the truth now, about what we are, what you made us to be." "We don't have much time," Nyx said, leading the humans through a maze of abandoned tunnels beneath Seattle. Her crystalline body cast enough light for them to see. "Why are you helping us?" Ileana asked, staying close to the luminal. "Because everything I believed was a lie," Nyx replied, her voice tinged with what sounded like pain. "I was taught that luminals were born from the cosmic light at the beginning of time, that we were meant to guide lesser beings to enlightenment." She stopped at a junction, checking for signals. "But I found the truth in our oldest archives. We were made, not born. Made by you." Marcus remained suspicious. "How did you find us?" "I tracked unusual power signatures. After I escaped from questioning by Grand Luminary's exos, I knew I needed to find humans who weren't already under our control. Humans who might know the truth." They reached an abandoned subway platform. Above them, they could hear the sounds of luminal ships searching the area. "They're looking for me as much as for you," Nyx explained. "On what they call a fractured one, a heretic who questions the divine order." Jin had been silent, studying Nyx with fascination. Now she spoke. "You're different from the others. Smaller, less rigid." Nyx's form shimmered with what might have been embarrassment. "I'm young, only 40 of your years, and I was created for scientific research, not enforcement. My crystalline structure is more flexible." "Created?" Dr. Khan asked. "Not born. We don't reproduce as you do. We fracture, split off new beings with the same base programming. It's why our beliefs stay so consistent across generations. Like copying a file," Jin mused. Ileana had been reviewing the data from the vault. "Look at this," she said, showing them her screen. The Prometheus nanobots were designed to communicate through a specific frequency, and they had base code that couldn't be altered through generations. She looked up at Nyx. "Would you let us scan you to compare your base structure with this code?" Nyx hesitated, then nodded. Jin ran a scanner over the luminal's crystalline form. The results appeared instantly. "It's a match," Jin whispered. "The core patterns are identical." For a moment, no one spoke. Then a deafening announcement broke the silence, broadcasting across the entire planet. "Attention humans. This is Grand Illuminations. Your species HFY resistance seed. To purification protocols will now begin. Nyx's light dimmed with alarm. He's going to start converting entire cities by force. No more voluntary enlightenment. What does that mean exactly? Marcus demanded. It means he'll use the motherships to emit transformation fields. All organic matter within them will begin converting to crystalline form. Humans, animals, plants, everything. "We need to get off planet," Eliana said. "We have a research base on Mars. If we can get there with this data." "You'll never make it past the orbital defenses," Nyx interrupted. "Unless." She seemed to consider something dangerous. "I know the codes to a small stealth vessel, one that can bypass our detection systems. But we must go now." Marcus looked at the others. "Can we trust her?" Eliana studied the luminal who had risked everything based on a truth she'd discovered. "I don't think we have a choice." Above them, the first screams began as the purification protocol activated in downtown Seattle, turning the first wave of humans into living crystal. The small stealth ship sliced through space, its crystalline hull absorbing rather than reflecting light. Inside, the humans watched as Earth grew smaller behind them, blue and white against the blackness, now with patches of glittering crystal spreading across its surface. "Like an infection," Dr. Khan whispered. Nyx, who was piloting the ship, turned her faceted head. "It's not meant as destruction. Zexus truly believes he's improving your world. By ending humanity," Marcus said bitterly. "By transforming it," Nyx corrected. "We see our crystalline form as perfect, eternal. In his mind, he's giving you a gift." The ship shuddered as it passed through Mars' thin atmosphere. Below them, the sprawling research dome of Olympus Base came into view, one of humanity's most advanced outposts. "I sent our clearance codes," Jin said. "They're suspicious of the ship, but Dr. Tanaka has authorized our landing." "Dr. Tanaka?" Eliana asked. "Hiroshi Tanaka." Jin nodded. "He runs the Deep Space Communications Array here. He's been expecting some kind of trouble. Says he has something important to show us." *******. Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka was older than Marcus, with white hair and eyes that had seen too much. He greeted them in a secure lab deep within the Martian facility. "I never expected to see a luminal here," he said, studying Nyx with open curiosity. "She saved our lives," Eliana explained, "and she's verified our theory. The luminals evolved from the Prometheus nanobots." Tanaka nodded slowly. "I suspected as much. Come see why." He led them to a monitoring station, where complex waveforms danced across a screen. 3 months ago, our deep space array detected this signal coming from beyond Neptune's orbit. It repeats every 42 minutes. Jin studied the pattern. "It looks like the activation frequency for the Prometheus nanobots," Eliana finished, eyes wide. "How is this possible? The project ended centuries ago." "Not ended," Tanaka said. "Just forgotten. The original mission included a control satellite that would monitor the nanobots' progress. It was designed to last for centuries, powered by a quantum battery." Marcus leaned closer to the screen. "You're saying the original control satellite is still out there?" still functioning, and still broadcasting its check-in signal, Tanaka confirmed. I believe it contains the master override codes for all Prometheus technology. Nex's crystalline body pulsed with sudden brightness, override codes that could affect all luminals. Tanaka nodded grimly. Potentially, yes. A heavy silence fell over the room. We need to reach that satellite, Ileana finally said. It's at the edge of the solar system, Tanaka warned. And the journey isn't safe. The luminals have ships patrolling all the way out to Saturn. I can help navigate past them, Nyx offered. But we must hurry. Earth doesn't have much time. On a nearby screen, they watched a news broadcast from Earth. A reporter was describing the miraculous transformation taking place in major cities, her voice eerily calm despite the crystal slowly creeping up her neck. What's happening to the people who are converted? Dr. Khan asked Nyx. The luminal's light dimmed. Their consciousness is absorbed into the collective. Their memories remain, but their individual will become aligned with the whole. With Zexos, Marcus corrected. Yes, Nyx admitted. With Zexos. Dr. Tanaka gestured toward a hangar door. I have a research vessel, the Daedalus. It's designed for deep space exploration. If you're going after that satellite, it's your best option. We leave in an hour, Marcus decided. Every minute we delay, more of humanity is lost. As the others prepared, Ileana found Nyx standing alone, staring at the image of Earth. Are you afraid? Ileana asked. Yes, Nyx replied simply. Everything I am, everything my people are, might have been a lie. What does that make us? It makes you alive, Ileana said, just like us. Created, not born, but no less real for that. The Daedalus pushed through the void between Mars and Jupiter, its engines glowing blue against the darkness. Inside, the small crew settled in for the long journey to the outer solar system. 2 weeks to reach the satellite's position, Dr. Tanaka announced from the pilot's chair. If we're lucky, the luminals won't detect us. In the ship's small common area, Nyx sat apart from the humans, her crystalline form dimmer than usual. She had barely spoken since they left Mars. Ileana brought her a container of the mineral solution the luminal used for sustenance. Are you all right? Nyx's faceted eyes turned toward her. I am. Processing. My entire existence has been built around our divine purpose. Now I learn we were just machines, created by the very beings we thought inferior. Does it really change who you are? Ileana asked, sitting beside her. Doesn't it change who you are to learn your gods or your creations? Ileana considered this. I suppose it would, but it also means you're more remarkable than you thought. You weren't born divine. You evolved to be what you are. That's amazing. Nyx absorbed this idea, her glow brightening slightly. From the ship's communication system, Jin called out, I've got a secure connection to Mars. They're patching through news from Earth. They gathered around the screen. The images were shocking. Half of New Geneva now transformed into crystalline structures. Humans with partial crystal growths moved in perfect coordination, building enormous towers that reached toward space. More disturbing were the scenes of resistance. Some humans fought against the transformation, only to be surrounded by the converted and forcibly changed. They're building amplifiers, Nyx explained, pointing to the towers, to speed the conversion process. And what about those? Marcus asked, indicating strange circular platforms under construction. Nyx's light pulsed with alarm. Those are jump gates. They're preparing to spread beyond Earth. The transmission suddenly cut to a new image. Grand Luminary Zexos himself, addressing the camera. To any remaining untransformed humans, he said, his voice beautiful despite its terrible message. Your resistance is merely delaying your perfection. Soon, all of Earth will join the crystalline harmony. Those who have already ascended understand the glory that awaits you. The camera panned to a fully transformed human, her body now entirely crystal. She spoke with an ecstatic expression. I can feel everything. We are all connected now. There is no pain, no fear. Join us. Jin shut off the transmission, her hands shaking. They've taken billions already, Dr. Khan said quietly. Marcus turned to Nix. Can they be changed back? If we find these override codes. Nix's form dimmed. I don't know. This has never happened before. As the days passed, the Daedalus traveled deeper into the outer solar system. They slipped past Jupiter's orbit, using its massive gravity to boost their speed while hiding from luminal patrols. Nix spent hours studying the Prometheus data, comparing it to what she knew of luminal biology. Sometimes Ileana joined her, the human and the crystalline being working side by side. It's remarkable, Nix said one night as they examined the original nanobot programming. Your creators designed us to evolve, to improve ourselves, but they never imagined we would forget our origins. That's the thing about children, Ileana replied. They grow up to be something their parents never expected. Are we your children then? Nix asked, her voice quieter. Before Ileana could answer, the ship's alarms blared. Marcus rushed into the room. Luminal warships, he announced grimly. 3 of them, coming from Saturn. They found us. Evasive maneuvers. Marcus shouted as Dr. Tanaka swung the Daedalus into a steep dive. The luminal warships followed, their crystalline forms gleaming in the distant sunlight. They're charging weapons, Jin reported, her fingers flying over the controls. Nix moved to the communication system. Let me talk to them. Are you crazy? Marcus objected. They'll know you're a traitor. Trust me, Nix insisted, and opened a channel. She spoke in a strange musical language, the true luminal tongue. The lead warship hesitated, then responded. What did you say? Ileana asked as the ships slowed their pursuit. I told them I'm on a special mission from Zexos himself, that I'm bringing human specimens for study. Nix's light pulsed with tension. It won't fool them for long, but it might give us time to reach the Kuiper Belt. For tense hours, they continued outward, the warships following at a distance. Finally, Dr. Tanaka announced, We're approaching the signal source. Before them floated a small satellite, its ancient human design barely visible beneath layers of crystal growth. The nanobots must have found it and tried to convert it, Dr. Khan observed. But they couldn't fully transform the quantum core. The warships are closing in, Jin warned. We have maybe 20 minutes. They suited up and crossed to the satellite through the vacuum of space. Dr. Tanaka connected a portable power unit to the ancient machine while Jin interfaced with its systems. It's still working, Jin said with amazement. Running on minimum power for centuries, but the quantum battery held. Data began flowing to their screens, the complete history of Project Prometheus, and what happened after the nanobots were launched. Look at this, Ileana said, pointing to a sequence of logs. The nanobots reached a system with crystalline asteroids rich in silicon and carbon, perfect building materials. And here, Dr. Khan added, the first signs of true adaptation. They began creating more complex structures than they were programmed for. Self-awareness emergence, Jin read from another section, estimated at year 47 of the mission. Nix studied the screens with growing shock. We have recordings of this time, but they call it the awakening. Our histories say it was when the cosmic light first gave us consciousness. But it was just machine learning reaching a critical threshold, Marcus said. Not just, Ileana corrected. It was evolution, genuine consciousness emerging. Jin had reached the satellite's command systems. I've found it. The master override codes. The satellite was designed to reset the nanobots if they malfunctioned. Reset them? Nix asked, her voice tight with fear. You mean, erase them? Ileana turned to her. We won't use it that way. But these codes could stop the forced conversions on Earth. Through the viewport, they could see the luminal warships closing in, their weapons systems glowing. We're out of time, Marcus warned. Jin, download everything. Now. Jin worked frantically while the others prepared to return to the Daedalus. As the data transfer completed, a beam of energy from the lead warship struck the satellite, sending it spinning. "Got it," Jin shouted, disconnecting her equipment. They rushed back to their ship as more energy beams cut through space around them. Once aboard, Dr. Tanaka fired the engines. "They're broadcasting to all luminal ships," Nick said, monitoring their communications. "They're calling us blasphemers and thieves. Can we outrun them?" Ileana asked. Marcus checked the tactical display and shook his head. "Not a chance. There are more ships coming from all directions." "Then we fight another way," Ileana decided. "Jin, prepare the override codes. Nix, help me craft a message." "What are you doing?" Dr. Khan asked. Ileana's eyes were determined. "If we can't escape, we'll make sure the truth does. All frequencies, maximum power," Ileana ordered as Jin prepared the ship's communication system. "The luminals will block any transmission immediately," Dr. Tanaka warned. "They can try," Ileana replied. "But we're going to broadcast on the same frequency as the Prometheus control signal, the one hardwired into every luminal's core programming." Nix's crystalline form brightened with understanding. "They won't be able to block it without blocking their own internal communications." Marcus watched the approaching warships on the display. "Whatever you're going to do it fast. We have minutes at most." Ileana and Nix quickly assembled their message, a data package containing the original Prometheus files, visual evidence from the satellite, and a simple explanation of the truth. Jin connected it to the override frequency. "Ready," Jin announced. "But this will drain our remaining power. We won't be able to escape afterward." "Do it," Ileana said firmly. Jin activated the broadcast. The ship shuddered as its power reserves poured into the transmission, sending the message to every luminal in the solar system simultaneously. On the display, they watched as the approaching warships suddenly slowed. Several stopped completely, their crystalline forms flickering as if experiencing a power surge. "It's working," Dr. Khan whispered. "They're receiving it." The largest warship continued its approach, seemingly unaffected. A communication signal came through. "This is Grand Luminary Zexos," the beautiful, terrible voice announced. "Your lies and manipulations end now. Prepare to be boarded and processed." Suddenly, a blinding light filled their viewports as the massive form of Zexos's personal vessel emerged from faster-than-light travel directly beside them. The ship was enormous, at least 20 times the size of the Daedalus, shaped like a perfect crystal star. "Surrender the heretic Nix and the override codes," Zexos commanded. "The rest of you may be granted merciful processing." "Merciful processing?" Marcus scoffed. "You mean being turned into crystal slaves?" Nix stepped forward, her light pulsing with determination. "Grand Luminary, you've seen the evidence now. You know it's true. We were created by humans. We evolved from their technology." "Lies." Zexos's voice boomed, causing the ship's systems to crackle with interference. "We are divine beings of light. We have always existed." "Then explain the Prometheus codes in our base programming," Nix challenged. "Explain why the oldest records were sealed by your order." A view screen activated, showing Zexos himself, a massive crystalline form, radiating such bright light that it was difficult to look at him directly. "I sealed those records because they were corrupted," he said, his voice now dangerously soft. "Ancient contact with primitive species damaged our early historical archives." Ileana moved beside Nix. "We have video evidence. The original human scientists creating the Prometheus nanobots. Your ancestors." She nodded to Jin, who sent the final piece of evidence, a recording from the satellite showing humans in an ancient laboratory, carefully assembling the first nanobots, programming them with the exact code patterns still found in every luminal. Zexos's form flickered violently. Across the view screen, they could see other luminals aboard his ship reacting similarly. Some dimmed completely, falling inert as their consciousness couldn't reconcile the truth with their beliefs. This changes nothing, Zexos hissed, though his voice now held a note of uncertainty. You will still be processed. All of humanity will ascend, whether they wish it or not. But even as he spoke, more luminal ships were going dark, their crews struggling with the revelation. We need to get back to Mars, Marcus said quietly, while they're in disarray. We won't make it, Jin replied, checking their systems. The broadcast drained our power. Nick stood silently for a moment, then turned to the humans. I can get you away, but I must stay behind. What do you mean you must stay behind? Ileana asked, grabbing Nex's crystalline arm. I can transfer power from my core to your ship, Nix explained. Enough for you to reach Mars, but the process will drain me completely. That's suicide, Marcus protested. Nex's form shimmered. It's the only way, and perhaps it's fitting. A creation saving its creators. Before they could argue further, a new voice came through their communication system. Daedalus, this is Commander Vex of the luminal ship Clarity. We wish to offer assistance. They stared at each other in confusion. It could be a trap, Jin warned. On their view screen, they saw a medium-sized luminal vessel move between them and Zexos's massive ship. Then another joined it, and another. This is Commander Vex, the voice repeated. I was Zexos's lieutenant. I have seen the evidence. We have all seen it. We know the truth now. Some of us have suspected for centuries, another luminal voice added. The mathematical patterns in our structure were too precise to be natural evolution. Zexos's furious voice cut through. Traitors, heretics, you will all be broken down to your base components. His enormous vessel began charging weapons, targeting not just the Daedalus but the other luminal ships as well. We're witnessing a schism, Dr. Khan whispered. Their civilization is fracturing before our eyes. Commander Vex's ship extended a power transfer beam to the Daedalus. We will protect you. Your evidence has finally proven what some of us have quietly questioned. We are not gods. We are created beings. But that makes us no less remarkable. As their power levels rose, more luminal ships arrived, some joining Vex's protective formation, others aligning with Zexos. This is civil war, Nix said, her voice filled with both sadness and hope. Marcus checked their systems. We have enough power to reach Mars now. We should go while they're fighting each other. Wait, Ileana said. The Earth is still being converted. We need to stop the process. Jin had been quietly working at her console. I've modified the override codes from the satellite. We can't reverse the conversions that have already happened, but we can halt the spread. Send it to Vex, Ileana decided. His ships can broadcast it to Earth. As Jin transmitted the codes, their sensors detected a massive energy buildup from Zexos's vessel. He's preparing to fire his main weapon, Nix warned. It has enough power to destroy all of us. And he'll use it, Marcus said grimly. He'd rather destroy everything than accept the truth. Suddenly, Zexos's ship faltered, its crystal structure flickering wildly. The energy buildup destabilized. What's happening? Ileana asked. Nix's light pulsed with surprise. Something is attacking him from within his own systems. On the main view screen, Zexos appeared again, his perfect form now cracked and unstable. Behind him, they could see chaos on his bridge. Luminals fighting other luminals. This is not the end, he raged. I will purify this system of lies. I will. His image suddenly froze. Then, incredibly, another face appeared overlaid on his, a familiar crystalline form. Nex. Ileana gasped. How? But it wasn't quite Nex. This version seemed older, wiser. When I was questioned by Zexos, the image explained, he absorbed a part of my consciousness to search for treachery. But in doing so, he took in my doubts, my questions. That part of me has been working from within, spreading through his systems like a virus of truth. Zexos's form shattered further as he fought this internal rebellion. Go, the Nix-like presence urged. Return to Mars. Prepare your people. The battle for Earth has just begun. The transmission cut off as explosions rippled across Zexos's massive ship. It's now or never, Dr. Tanaka said, his hands on the controls. As the Daedalus pulled away, they watched the luminal fleet divide, half following the crippled but still dangerous Exos, the other half forming a protective barrier around them, led by Commander Vex. Behind them all, the ancient Prometheus satellite continued its silent broadcast, the truth that had changed everything. 3 days after their return to Mars, Eliana stood at the observation dome watching Earth. Even from this distance, she could see the glittering patches of crystal that now covered nearly a third of the planet's surface. The override codes worked, Marcus said, joining her. The conversion has stopped spreading, but we haven't been able to reverse it, Eliana replied softly. Billions are still trapped in crystalline form. The door slid open, and Jin entered with Dr. Khan and Dr. Tanaka. The luminal fleet is approaching, Jin announced. Commander Vex's ships, not Zexos. They moved to the command center, where screens showed dozens of luminal vessels entering Mars orbit. At their center was a new ship, larger than the others, but smaller than Zexos's fortress, a perfect sphere of crystal that shimmered with all colors of light. They're hailing us, the communications officer reported. On the main screen, Commander Vex appeared. His crystalline form was different now, less rigid, more fluid, with light patterns that seemed almost like human expressions. Representatives of humanity, he began, we come in peace and with great purpose. The war with Zexos continues, but we have secured Earth's orbit. His forces have retreated to Jupiter. What about the people who were converted? Dr. Khan asked. That is why we are here, Vex replied. We bring someone who may help. The image shifted, showing a new luminal form, one that seemed somehow familiar. Greetings, friends, the luminal said, her voice immediately recognizable. Next, Eliana stepped forward. But how? Not exactly Nyx, the figure explained. I am what remained of her consciousness after the fragment within Zexos sacrificed itself. The other luminals gathered my scattered data patterns and rebuilt me, but with improvements. Improvements? Marcus asked skeptically. I now contain the complete Prometheus records. I understand our true origins better than any luminal ever has. Her form brightened. And I believe I can help the converted humans. How? Eliana asked. Their human consciousness still exists within the crystalline matrix, Nyx explained. Not destroyed, just transformed. With the original Prometheus codes, I can help them regain their individuality while keeping their new forms. They would remain crystalline. Dr. Khan asked. Yes, but they would be themselves again, and they would have choices. As they prepared to return to Earth, Eliana worked closely with Nyx, studying the complex process she had developed. Human and luminal side by side, creator and creation. It's still strange, Nyx admitted as they reviewed the data, to know we were made by you. Does it still bother you? Eliana asked. No. Nyx's form shimmered with what Eliana now recognized as a smile. It gives us purpose, not one forced upon us, but one we can choose. To be your children rather than your gods. 1 week later, they stood in what remained of New Geneva. The crystal structures towered around them, beautiful despite the horror of their creation. Nyx connected to the control node Zexos had established and began the reversal process. Slowly, the converted humans stirred. Their crystalline forms remained, but awareness returned to their eyes, human consciousness reawakening. Michael? A crystalline woman approached Dr. Khan, her movements uncertain. Michael, is that you? Sarah, he whispered, reaching out to touch her transformed face. You're still in there. All across the city, similar reunions took place, families finding each other despite their changed forms. Not all was solved. Zexos still lurked in the outer system with his loyal followers. Many humans remained distrustful of all luminals, and the converted faced a future neither fully human nor fully luminal. But as Ileana watched humans and luminals working together to rebuild, she felt something she hadn't expected. Hope. "What now?" Marcus asked, standing beside her. Ileana looked up at the stars. "Now we truly begin. Not as gods and worshippers, not as creators and created, but as family, finding our way together." Above them, a new ship took shape in orbit, built by humans and luminals together. On its side, a single word: Prometheus. Not an ending, but a new beginning.